Welcome to Homesteading Roots, a podcast by Ozarks Homesteading, where we dig into the roots of some of my favorite people who are making a difference in their communities and beyond. We share about events we think you shouldn't miss and explore the faith that keeps it all going. I hope you'll enjoy listening. Let's dig in. Welcome to Homesteading Roots podcast. I'm Cheryl Franklin, your host, as always. And today we are doing something a little different. I have Valerie Goodrich with me, and she is the owner of Oak Hollow Market, which is a new market that has opened in McDonald County, which is close to the Arkansas line in Missouri. And normally I'm just zooming people in, but we are actually on her property in her market today. And so it may sound a little different, or people may be buzzing around or asking her things, but it's a busy place because they're not even open yet, and it's buzzing in here already, getting
Yeah.
getting ready this morning for the opening. And we're going to get right on this today. But first, I want to say thank you to Azure Standard for being our sponsor today. We love Azure. And if you're not familiar with them, you can go to azurestandard.com. Be sure, if you're a new customer, to put in Ozark 15 in the promo code and you'll get a discount. But they offer organic, non GMO, wonderfully natural foods in a model that allows people to access this in their community when they otherwise wouldn't be able to. And we just love their story. And actually, we'll have some guests on here next week from Azure standards. So be sure and tune in for that. But we want to thank Azure again, and we're going to get on this today. So Valerie, welcome. I'm so glad you could take time. I know you are very busy right now
Yes.
with everything that you have going on, and so I love being here. I came here for your grand
It
opening,
was awesome.
and it's super cool. And we've been talking a lot about just kind of food access. There's a lot in the news lately with food access and food freedom. And, I wore my Food Emancipation Proclamation
Nice.
shirt yesterday. I should have wore
Nice.
that today, because, but anyway, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Yeah. Yeah, well, don't hold it against me, but I am originally from Southern California, and we moved to the Ozarks about 13 years ago, and I immediately began farming with zero knowledge whatsoever.
I jumped right in.
Yeah,
huh?
jumped right in. Started a little homestead. It was about 36 acres, and went straight into beef, which was kind of wild. But my property was really, really set up for cattle. I was very blessed. We bought an old cattle ranch. They had amazing working corrals and head chutes, and I could work a lot of things myself. Immediately started milking. So I got into selling direct to consumer raw milk and grass finished beef pretty quickly, and just kind of grew and grew over the next decade. I tried goats, didn't really love those. I did milk goats for a little while, and I was thought, why am I milking goats and cows? So ended up getting
one or the other. Yeah,
yeah, it's got to be one or the other.
We had goats for years and years. But,
yes. Yeah. So I had some sawn-ins and I did like them, but it was just too much. So we tried a little bit of everything to kind of realize my niche was kind of cattle. I loved cattle.
So you didn't raise cattle before?
Never. I don't even think I'd ever touched a cow before I started raising
And you just bought cattle?
Yes. And I was
and
driving.
a dairy cow as well?
Yeah, I was driving. My youngest son had just been born, so he was born 30 days after we moved to the Ozarks. My youngest two are actually adopted, and so my youngest son was born in St. Louis, and he was a little medically fragile, so he was not digesting anything. So we had people donating breast milk. We tried 6 different formulas. He was on 3 different medications, and finally I was decided I was just going to make his own formula because we could not keep anything down.
Mm-hmm.
And I found a dairy farm 45 minutes away in Mount Vernon, Missouri, and drove there and got him some raw Jersey cow milk, brought it home, and he was throwing up on average 32 times a day.
Oh my goodness.
So he was failure to thrive. He was 8 pounds at 4 months old. So we started giving him raw milk, which I know in this world is very controversial. But the first day he was on it, he only threw up 12 times. The second day he was on it, he threw up three. And by the third day, he had completely stopped throwing
Oh
up.
my goodness, I didn't know this story.
Yeah,
This is like,
it was a miracle. It was a miracle like drug for him. It was perfect.
right.
He was able to get off all of his medications within a month. And after a couple months of driving 45 minutes away for milk, I decided I'll just get a milk cow. And I started milking. And that ended up me getting into selling direct to consumer raw milk for about 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, here in the Ozarks.
That is wonderful. That's wonderful. So yeah, and you hadn't milked a cow before.
Never.
So you kind of had to
Never.
learn that little art of
Yes.
skill.
Yes.
Skill.
Learned really quickly, the difference between teats that are good for machine milking, teats that are good for hand milking.
Right.
Got into a couple different kinds. Hand milked for about 8 months and then went straight to a machine. Learned how important sanitization was,
Right.
and I actually became pickier about raw milk after I became someone who
sure.
sold
Yeah,
and,
sure.
and did
Once
it.
you
So
learn, yeah.
and I loved it.
You kind of
So
get to be,
yeah. So
If
then
you had raw milk snob.
Yes, I did. I became a raw milk snob. So then we moved and relocated to McDonald County about 4 years ago, and then I got into sheep. So downsized my land, kind of downsized my workload, got out of cattle, which I miss terribly, and I hope to one day get back into. But got out of cattle, got out of milk, and went into sheep. So
And so so you were doing all that?
Yeah.
Gee, I think I'll try to do something else. You're a girl after my own heart, though, let me tell
Yeah.
you. But I think I'll do something else to keep, like busy.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have enough to do because we know that having sheep or cattle and dairy animals
Yes.
and all of that is
It's a lot.
it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, yeah. It was crazy.
So what made you eventually have the vision to do Ocala Market?
Well, so because all of my dairy customers, my raw milk customers, and my beef customers were really sad and upset that I was getting out of that business, they would call me constantly asking me to help them find resources in our area for good quality raw milk and for beef and for other items. And so I sort of just became this kind of in between where I was connecting people with local farms, people with local homesteads, and I also buy from local farms and homesteads, right? So now I needed to find milk and I needed to find meat. So connecting people, the consumer, with the farmer became kind of something I was very passionate about.
That is such
yeah.
a need, such a need.
Yes,
too.
yes, and I love it. And teaching homestead skills so that people can start their own and learn from people who have been there rather than repeating the same costly mistakes. So I sort of got into to homestead teaching and consulting a little bit, but what I found was that so many people wanted to support local, but there was one consistent problem that I would hear from not only myself but everybody else is we don't have a system set up that is convenient, and convenience in a really busy modern life is not silly. It's important. And so
that's why some people don't go to run all over the place looking for things because it's just people are busy.
Yeah, and it's hard. And I found that so many people were dedicated to supporting local, but they were driving to this town for their sourdough and this town for their raw milk, and then clear over across 2 counties to get their beef, and then they were having to get up and go to the farmers markets for their produce and other things. So they were giving up. They were quitting. They were going back to big box stores and chain stores, because when you can walk in a store and get everything that you need, it's very convenient. So my idea was, what if we made it convenient? What if we
Mm-hmm.
created a place that was convenient, that supported local farms? I'm also incredibly passionate and disheartened by the amount of farmland we lose in America every year,
Right.
the amount of homesteaders that are burning out, and small farms that are losing. They're losing heart because they're not making a fair living wage. They're working off the farm, and
Right.
some of them are struggling. Some farmers are really good at marketing, and some farmers are like, I don't want to come home and I don't want to market. So
Because that's why they're farmers. They don't want to be around people.
Yes. So my thought
face
was
in front of everybody.
What if we gave them a place where we marketed for them? We gave them a place to set their stuff. We gave them, we took care of everything, and they could just stock their shelves and go home and spend time with their family and farm, and we could just send them a paycheck. And that was my vision.
And that was your vision.
Yeah.
So how does this happen, right?
Yes.
So that was, some people just dream about, this is such a great idea. And boy, what if there was a place? But what made you actually put your vision into a reality? Let's take the leap to do that.
Yeah.
It's a big leap.
It is a huge leap. I went from just this is kind of a thought I have, and I had I had a lot of personal things just sort of pop up last year in my life. And because of those things, I was sort of faced with the decision of what am I going to do with my future? And because I was faced with those decisions, I decided if it's kind of now or never. This is my one opportunity. I need to do it now. And if I don't do it now, I'm not sure I'll ever do it. And so
sometimes it's just for such a time as this, right?
That's basically exactly how it ended up going full steam ahead.
Oh my gosh. So what exactly is, so this is, how is this different than a farmer's market?
Okay, so we're open 6 days a week. So my goal is actually to be open on the days that are opposite of farmers markets, if I can, to give farmers a place where 6 days, and we also sell for local artisans. So I also think art is really important. I don't want to derail us into that, but I think art and creation is really important, and not outsourcing that to companies that we don't know,
made in China things.
So we have so much talent here, not just in the Ozarks, but in America in general. We have so much talent, but So,
and I see there's things here made with, local wood.
Yes.
And, we have a lot of oak and walnut, and I see there's things made of that. We have elderberry is prolific around here.
Yes, it is.
Anymore. And so we have, and cultivated elderberry. So I see you have, elderberry things, and you have a lot of things that are made from natural products, weaving and just different things too. And so that's awesome. Yeah. So that really just connects and ties into
absolutely
just the whole,
all of it,
buy local.
Yeah. The whole system that is sort of created in places like this that is a little bit different than farmers markets is, number one, they don't have to be here. Number two, it's 6 days a week and longer hours. So that's less tear down, breakdown setup for the farmers. It's less work for them. But also just supporting local for everything creates an amazing system where when you're buying from local farmers, you're not just supporting the farmer, you're also supporting the meat processing plant that they took that animal to, and the packaging and everything. And same thing with the local artisans. They're going to buy the tallow from the farmer to make the tallow whipped balm.
Right. You have that side of thing here too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, so how is that different? Do you think consumers are looking for something different too? I mean, not just buying local, but kind of different than what they're used to, because you have some unique items here as well.
Yeah, I think people,
I mean, you can't buy bison in the grocery. At least I don't think so.
Yeah, we try to have as many unique items as we can. We also want to support people with preference and allergies. So people have a preference for instance, for like unsprayed stuff. So one of the things that I tell all my consumers when they come in here is you don't have to ask, you don't have to look for a label or say, is this not sprayed with herbicides or pesticides? We have a no herbicide pesticide policy in our store. And so if we contract with a farmer to bring their stuff in, we make sure it is unsprayed.
So you already know that.
And so we're not only offering a convenient place, but we're offering like less mental load where they don't have to say, hey, what is this? And they're looking for labels that could be tricky in America.
Wonderful. I love
you. So we really want to take that load off of them and just kind of get that all those things in one place. Natural, healthy. We're also trying to source right now alpha gal friendly meats, and we do have poultry, but we've had a lot of requests for emu and ostrich, and so I've been on the phone for a week straight trying to reach out to people for that.
Yes, because some of that is alpha gal friendly items. Yeah, I see you have. I mean, you have a number of things that even say alpha gal friendly on them. Yes, honey, my friend Heather has her.
Yes,
I'm so glad to see her.
Oh, it's amazing.
Honey, here, which was why she started that. Was because of that diagnosis as well. But so what are some of the biggest struggles that farmers face trying to sell directly to consumers sometimes too? You know, just the marketing, is it? Or is it, you know, they're busy too.
They're busy.
Right?
I think it's you know, I spent some time talking about the inconvenience for the consumer. And let me say real quick, I'm a huge proponent of farmers markets. But what I was hearing was there are some people that do not like farmer market setups. They don't like crowds, or they don't like shopping on a Saturday, or they don't like the weather. They don't want to get hot, you know, heat and sweaty. A lot of people I would hear from that they just don't like to find parking and deal with these things. Farmers markets are wonderful systems to give farmers a place to sell their goods, and for people who want to support farms. But
some people work on Saturdays, or some people aren't, or they're home doing their own gardens or their farms or their kids or sports or whatever. On Saturday mornings or farmer market, typically when farmers markets are happening.
Games and things like that. But for farmers, I was also hearing from farmers that it is inconvenient for them to constantly try to bridge this gap, to reach their consumer, to find more consumers. When you have perishable goods, having access to consumers fast is extremely important. So it was hard on, you know, I would talk to farmers and they'd say, you know, some farmers are like, I've got it. I know how to do social media. I know how to do marketing. But majority of them would say, I want to farm and I want to be with my family. I don't want to spend hours trying to figure out this section how to sell this
how to get rid of it.
100%.
Right. So what are some of the challenges that you face because of regulations, or farmers face, but you face here because of regulations, government regulations in selling farm produced items, especially added value items?
Yes. So one of the most interesting things about starting this business, starting the market, was for months ahead of time. I could not believe the amount of people I had to talk to, places I had to go through. But I have to work with the Department of Ag, the Department of Weights and Measures, the Health Department, the Milk Board, just to make sure we are in. And it's like
in compliance.
Yeah, it's like a gigantic Venn diagram too. It's like there's areas where this is in charge and areas where this is charged, and there's areas where they overlap, and then you got to get them both. And so it's a lot of regulation, a lot of red tape, even in states that are typically very free for farmers, like Missouri. Missouri's great, Arkansas is great, but there is a lot of regulation and a lot of red tape that I still have to deal with, and my farmers have to deal with. So it can be difficult, but we need to sort of pull ourselves up and be willing and able to intervene in this system we have going in America. I had talked to another farm stop, which is kind of a term for what this model is, like a farm stop model. I talked to the lady who runs the Ozarks Farm Stop in Springfield. She was great. And like she kept saying, like, we are I'm going to forget the term that she used, but basically we're intervening in a system that is not working for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to kind of break into that system and find a new way, even though it's hard, even though there's lots of hoops to jump through. We
Yeah,
have to
wouldn't it be
intervene.
great if the people like you have a lot of meat and
Mm-hmm.
here, and wouldn't it be great if the people didn't have to process, didn't have to drive hours to find a
Yes.
USDA
Yes.
facility to bring
Mm-hmm.
their animals to, and to pay the
Yes.
extra,
It's a ton
higher
of money.
prices.
It's a
Higher
ton of
prices. We
money.
ran into that when we were
Yes.
selling pork at the farmers markets, where we just
Mhm.
finally couldn't do it because it was just got to be very cost prohibitive.
Yes.
But
100%.
yeah,
Yeah.
but so yeah, it would be nice if they didn't have to do that, and they could be more profitable if they were
Yeah.
doing some of this. So um, so and the term food freedom gets thrown
Mm.
out about a lot. We were talking. Our friend Joe Salatin
Mm-hmm.
almost got an audience with the president yesterday, and to discuss food freedom. Why
Yes.
consenting adults can't buy something to eat from each other.
Mm-hmm.
I can give you,
Yeah.
he says, I can give you a chicken pot pie,
Mm-hmm.
or I can give you some of my meat. I can give you anything. And the government doesn't care about that.
Yeah.
It's fine. You can do that. But the
Yeah.
minute I want to sell it to you,
Mm-hmm.
now you're going to die from it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So, there's
Yeah.
all that going on. So, if the lawmakers asked you what law that you would want to change tomorrow, what would
Oh.
that be?
Oh my gosh.
Besides all of them.
Besides all of them, it's really hard for me to pick one. But one of them would be the regulations on requiring USDA
Because we have
stamps on our meat.
We have
Yeah,
stamps.
state inspection. Yeah, if we could make it more, let's put it this way, less cost prohibitive on the farmer and the consumer to get their quality food into places like this. And that is another reason why places like this and other farm stops are really important right now, is people have to understand the cost of food.
Right.
Food costs money to grow and raise in America, and it's important that people who walk in here and they look at the price of some of this meat and they understand what it took for that farmer to raise it on grass that they're taxed on, that Big Ag is not taxed on. It's very complicated when you own a system, when you're in Big Ag, and you can own the feedlot and you can own the silage and then you can own the meat processing. You own every middleman in between there. You can sell a cheap product.
Right.
But a local farmer does not have access to owning all of those things. They have to pay out every single one of those steps.
Right.
And that is accounted into their price. And it's important that people understand the true cost of food versus the way that sometimes food is priced because of the cheap ways in which it's being raised.
Yes, and they, you can also know that it was raised ethically and sustainably, and just knowing that for your family, and
humanely,
humanely as
very
well,
important.
people care about, and that you're going to get more health benefit from this type of food, or some people that complain about that, but then they have to deal with health problems later on.
Yep.
And
we put our money into it now or later.
Okay, now or later, right? With that. So, that's just great. And so what are some of the other things that you have in here? So you have meat and you have milk.
Yes, we have milk. Unfortunately, Missouri would not let us put raw milk in our store. You are allowed to sell raw milk in Missouri, but the milk board denied us the ability to allow the farmer. We even said we would take no money from it. We would take no part in it. We would not collect a single dime.
Wow.
That if they could just pay the milk farmer directly and just give a convenient place.
That model.
They wouldn't let us do that. So we are a milk drop point, which means that people pay the milk farm, and the milk farmer just uses us as a meetup location. We make nothing from that. We do that to support the farm. But we do have another dairy that is VAT pasteurized. pasteurized, so low temp pasteurized, non-homogenized, amazing milk from Still
It's great.
Dreamin'
We bought
Dairy.
some
It's
when I was here last
super
week.
good. It's A2 and pasture based, so it's a great. So we have eggs, we have dairy products, we have cheeses, we have amazing yogurt that we cannot keep on our shelf. We sell out of almost the minute we put it out there. It's from a creamery in Nowata, Oklahoma, and it's a French yogurt. This is a funny story. It's like a Brazilian man who traveled to France, learned how to make French yogurt, bought land in Oklahoma, started a French creamery.
Of all places.
and we sell it in Missouri. So Brazilian man, French yogurt, Nowata, Oklahoma, we sell it here in Missouri. But everything in here is either from Southwest Missouri, Northeast Oklahoma, or Northwest Arkansas. So this little tri-state region that we're in.
Yeah. So why is that important for the people in this region too? There are a lot of models, this type of model store, in this area.
I mean, there's, we have a lot of farms that are catching on to the fact that people are driving to them. For instance, there's Smith's Ridge down in Arkansas, and they have a dairy, and I'm sure she was probably hearing the same things that all of us are hearing, where I'm going to drive all the way to your farm to pick up this milk. Do you have eggs for me? Do you have meat for me? Do you have lettuce for me? Is there something else? And so she's sort of expanding her thing. I haven't been out there yet, but I heard it's phenomenal. And there's other farm stops, but some of them are on their farm. So they're still maybe an inconvenient location, but they're adding convenience by adding the items you can pick up when you come pick
and
up.
And they're creating community with other farmers as well when they connect
100%.
and just make
Teamwork.
friendships and team up with other farmers, because everybody's just helping everybody else out. That's wonderful. Those are wonderful, and I'm so glad to see some of that going on.
Yes.
And it helps to I have a friend that started a CSA or farm boxes, and she keeps adding more things to her box. So people are like, well, you do have jams or jellies or things like that. Okay, well, I'll make some. And we can do that. So they're just finding that there is really a need and people are willing to pay for it. And they, and people do like to go out to farms. Sometimes it's a nice little road trip sometimes, but everybody doesn't have the time.
We love adding as many products as we can that people want here. We want to support as many farms, small businesses, and local artisans as our space can hold. So, I mean, we have cheeses from amazing dairies. We have, as you said, we have Yes Honey. We have canned drinks from a kombucha maker in Springfield, Spring Branch, Nobleberry from Elderberry Farms, which I met at the Missouri Organics Conference. Amazing farm. Again, yogurt. We have coffee from a local roaster in Mount Vernon, Missouri that we love, Keen Bean. We have pasta. We have rice from a regenerative farm in Arkansas, Ralston Rice. That's excited.
That's nice.
We really, really love to support regenerative farms. We love all farms. And we don't have like a hierarchy of farms, but I will say we have a preference. If you are doing things regenerative, we will choose you to be in our store above all things. Regenerative farming is really important to us. So.
That's great. So let's go to how has your faith or God inspired you to, or prepared you really for this season? This is like a whole different season of life for you.
Yes. I had to trust him with a lot. So I came out of a very, very hard last couple years, and kind of I really struggled with my faith and my trust in the Lord in that. And he has asked me to trust him in some really big ways in the last 12 months. And I had to make a decision that I was going to do it, even though I didn't feel like I was sure about it. And he has been faithful and steady and true and opened doors we could not have opened. It was unbelievable. Miraculous is not even a stretch of the imagination for some of the things that he did to get us to this place and to just to support us. I feel incredibly grateful. My faith has definitely grown.
Yeah, when it's God, when it couldn't have been you.
Yes,
and and it's a coincidence beyond coincidence, right? Things that happen and divine appointments. I think that happen too, right?
Yes, we got all. Yes.
So So 5 years from now, what do you think this is going to look like? Here.
Well,
What do
not
you
just
think?
5 years from now. I have a 6 month goal to get into the space next door that's a
You
thousand
do.
square feet bigger. Yeah, that's my goal. And
Wow.
I have kind of figured it out in my head. I think I can support 15 more farmers and probably 20 to 30 more artisans if I can get into the space next
Hey,
door.
go big or go
Yeah, I
home,
know.
girlfriend.
Listen, and I could not imagine filling this space, which is 1,800 open square feet. I could not have imagined filling it. And now we are busting at the brim. I have amazing people sending in vendor applications to be in my market that are amazing farmers, amazing creators.
That's
And
great.
I am starting to have to turn people down, and I hate that. So a bigger space next door
You're
would
yeah,
be.
you're pretty. You can go up.
Yeah,
You can't go
yeah.
out anymore. So you're just going to have to,
Yeah.
go. You're going to have to get a bigger space.
Yeah,
That is great.
I was contacted by a local chocolatier in Northwest Arkansas making amazing chocolate bars, and that's another thing that we're just so excited about. I mean, who's not excited about local chocolate? So,
That's right.
So anyway, we
Yes,
want to
who makes
bring
chocolate?
we want to bring as many things to make it as convenient for the consumer as possible to walk in the store and say, I can get my honey and I can get my bread and I can get my beef and I can get my cheese, but I can also get my chocolate and my whipped tallow balm and a salve for the cut on my arm
Right.
in one place.
Are you still? So are you growing things at your home still, or are you still maintaining a farm at your house?
Not, I would say
well?
not very well
No?
these days. I'm working about 60 to 70 hours a week at the market
I
currently,
imagine.
but we're hoping that will slow down as we're able to hire a bit more help. But yeah, my farm, I'm downsizing quite a bit. We got rid of rabbits. I'm about to sell all my chickens, my chicken coop, but I am focusing on my lamb. My lamb is going to be coming here to the market this
Great.
fall. So
Great. Is that why it says lamb coming soon on your refrigerator or your freezer
and
over
we're
there?
also open to other people having their lamb in the market. I just was really struggling to find people that were mostly grass finishing their lamb, grass
That's
raising.
what we have.
Yeah. So I
hadn't
am
thought about
open.
that.
I am open to having other people's lamb in there too. So mine is not ready yet. So I'm focusing on my lamb, and I love my farm. I do garden. I make tinctures. I make salves, but all that's on hold, and it's going to be on hold pretty indefinitely for a while.
And you have breads and such here too. I don't think we even talked about that you have fresh milled.
Yes.
Breads.
In the county that we are in, we were told our goal was to partner with local micro bakeries and have all these amazing bakers put their breads in here. And the health department does not allow that in our county. We are not allowed to sell bread in the store, as low risk as bread is, unless it is baked in a commercial kitchen, which we find pretty astounding. But it is what it is. So we were like, how in the heck are we going to find people who are baking in a commercial kitchen that are local bakers? And we couldn't find any. So what we did was we rented a commercial kitchen. We found one in this building, 5 doors down. There was a baker who bakes for the Bentonville Farmers Market. And so she just happened to create a commercial kitchen. We partnered with her. We sublease from her, and we pay bakers to bake our bread. I buy my ingredients.
So it's under your label.
Yeah, it's under my label. I buy the ingredients from Measure. I buy all organic ingredients and raw honey, and we hired amazing bakers to bake our fresh milled bread. We mill the flour straight from the wheat berries to make our bread. We have scones. We have cinnamon roll focaccia, which we can't keep on the shelf.
Some of that.
Yeah, we cannot keep it. We sell out typically every day by noon. So yeah, we had to jump through those hoops, but we were determined to have bread in this market. And if we can't have bread, then people aren't getting all the things that they need.
That is so awesome. So one word, what's your favorite thing in your pantry that you have to have?
Oh,
that
coffee.
You wanted to make sure.
Coffee.
Oh, coffee. So you probably need a lot of that now, right?
I
do. So me too. I'm such a coffee snob now too. And so I call this podcast Homesteading Roots, because every person has roots in family and roots in their faith and their purpose. What are some of the roots that anchored you in to being the person that could just pull this off, you know,
Uh,
and give you
well,
passion for that.
I think one of the things is that I,
You have family.
as a child, I moved a lot, so we didn't have roots in one place. I'm amazed at the people that I meet that come into my market that have been living in generational land since the 1800s. It's amazing, like land that has been in their family for that long.
Can't even imagine that sometimes.
Because I don't have roots in one place. The Ozarks is the longest I think I've ever lived in one place, and even here we've lived, in two. But I wanted to offer some type of roots to my children of when you try and something's important to you, if you give it your all, you can do it. And I really wanted to give that to my children.
And so, talking about your children, so some of them are here helping you as well. This is like a family affair.
It is. Here? Yeah. I have 4 children. My oldest is 24. My daughter, Ireland, she is the bestest. She is co-founder and co-owner of this market. She is working in the background right now. She's amazing.
Her and get her to stick in here. Ireland,
she's
you need
phenomenal.
to come over here and say hi.
Come say hi. And then I have a son who's 22 who lives down in Springdale. And then my 2 youngest are 14 and 12. I homeschool them. They're actually doing school behind this wall.
Here she is.
And this is my amazing, fantastic daughter who is such a hard worker. Yep, she's co-founder, co-owner.
You didn't know you were going to get billed into this, did you?
I'm a little obsessed. But yeah, we're working on a lot of restocking right now.
Yep.
Good.
She's working hard. It's amazing.
You didn't sign up for this at first, right? No,
yeah,
that's great.
She has a full-time job.
How
she
wonderful.
Comes here and helps me open every morning and goes to her job, gets off her job, comes here and helps me close. Yeah.
Your dream.
And my boys as well. My boys do
daughter.
A ton of work for us. So we're very grateful.
That is so great. Well, Valerie, it's almost time for you to open here this morning too. And we came here before hours while it's still busy.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to thank you for doing this. This is the county that I live in as well, in McDonald County, Missouri, which is the furthest southwest corner of, people always ask, where's McDonald County? Nobody knows where McDonald
furthest
County
corner.
is. Furthest corner in Missouri. So it borders Arkansas and Oklahoma as well. We're not far from Southeast Kansas either, but it borders, there's a little cornerstone that borders. So, McDonald County is very rural and a lot of farms and very, very, very rural. There's no town more than 2,000 people, I don't think. And the county seat's less than that. But you go right over the border to Northwest Arkansas, and it's like very busy metro, very big metro area. So it's kind of strange, kind of, weird,
juxtaposition. It's 2 different
between the two. But you've just provided just a wonderful space here, and we're just so excited, and we've heard so much from just community and people, and I've been down there. I can't wait to go and just and I am familiar with a lot of your vendors here, and some of them are dear friends of mine as well. And so I am so glad to see that you have partnered with them, and they partnered with you to be here. And again, I just want to thank you for being here and wish you the very best for here. And we just want to have you on here so we can come visit and tell us where you're at. You can go to tell us your address here.
We are at 116 College Road, Suite 108 in Pineville, Missouri, but we are closer to Arkansas than we are to Pineville. Pineville,
it's
Missouri.
Just the address. So it's just north of Walmart. Just north of Walmart. At Jane, really. I mean, people really call this Jane than Pineville. Right. I would say.
It's true. Our address says Pineville. My address is Pineville, but that's
a long way away from here.
Yeah, we're 15 minutes south of Pineville. But
okay. And then, and they have a Facebook page, right?
Facebook, Instagram, and a website. Okay, ocalomarket.com.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And we will maybe come back and see how it's going after this other bigger space happens.
Yes, that would be exciting.
Right?
Yes, it's going to happen.
Thank you so much for listening to Homesteading Roots with Cheryl Franklin. I hope you'll join us again on our next episode. See you then.